Over and over again, we are told that our path to financial independence and happiness is through avoiding debt and managing our spending in the most precise ways. But financial journalist and educator Dana Miranda has a different view. She thinks budget culture is like diet culture. It does not work for most people.
Her new book is called You Don't Need a Budget, Stop Worrying About Debt, Spend Without Shame, and Manage Money with Ease. And she joins us now this morning. That title really scares me, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you're not the first to say that.
So tell us kind of just the basis of your philosophy. I feel like the smart thing to do is to have a budget and to make sure that you stick with it so that you don't go into credit card debt.
Most financial advice, no matter what the goal, tends to start with making a budget. But if you look into the research on budgeting, it actually shows that budgeting looks a lot like what we know about dieting, which is that it's unsustainable because the restriction and discipline required makes it hard for people to fit into a real life. And if you dig a little bit deeper, the research actually shows that budgeting doesn't help most people meet their financial goals. So it's actually not really effective in the way that it tends to be promised to be effective.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you're saying you got to cut somewhere. So you use this term intuitive spending. What is that?
That is kind of akin to intuitive eating, again, pulling from diet culture. So the idea is that instead of planning every dollar and tracking every dollar that you spend, instead think about what you need in each moment, day to day, what you want to do, kind of what experience you want this month and this year, and then think about how money can support that experience rather than starting with the financial goal first.
Can you give just a quick example of that? That seems good in theory here, but what's maybe one example or two?
Sure. So people are setting a lot of New Year's goals right now, New Year's resolutions. And a lot of times those goals start with paying down debt or saving more or something that budget culture kind of tells you you should be doing with your money. And instead, I recommend people think about what kind of life do you want to be living this year, or bring it down to what do you want to do by the end of this month? What kind of experience do you want to have today? And how can money support that? So saving money or paying down debt quickly this year might not be the best way to support that experience that you want to have. So start with that experience and the life that you want to live, and think about how money fits into that. You don't have to necessarily chase after those goals that financial media or financial gurus tell you are the right things to do.
I would think, though, if someone is a chronic overspender, I mean, you much like with a diet, you need something to like rip off the Band-Aid and just tell me to do this, this, and this helps maybe. I don't know if there's something different than a budget that would help. I would think, do you cut up credit cards first? Do you take 50% of your savings? There's got to be a step-by-step that some people would need.
Some people, just like divesting from diet culture, divesting from budget culture is a bit of a process. You kind of, it is hard to just pull the Band-Aid off all at once because you are kind of mired in that budget culture restrictive thinking. But I don't recommend replacing a restrictive budget with some other way to restrict your spending. I recommend moving toward that intuitive spending, thinking about how you want money to support your life. And so what I tend to recommend people do is, instead of looking for the right budget or the right debt payoff plan or something to achieve financial goals set by someone else, and asking, what should I do next? To start asking, how do things work? So start to understand how our financial products and systems work. What affects your credit score? How does credit card interest work? So that when you're making spending and financial decisions, you're making them from a more empowered place, and you can think about what is right for you rather than just asking what's the right way that someone else thinks you should take.
You also write about taking yourself on a money date. That sounds fun. What's that?
It is. It's maybe not as fun as most dates that we go on, or maybe more. But I recommend a check-in. I usually do it every 2 weeks, but you could do it quarterly, monthly, whatever, with yourself, with your partner or your family. and just check in on where you're at with your money. This isn't about tracking your spending again or planning how you're going to use every dollar, but check in and get the lay of the land of where your money's coming from, and what you want to be doing with it. So if you have financial goals, where are you at with those? How are you spending your money? How do you want to spend your money next? And start to just make sure that you have a general idea of what's going on with your money regularly, because a lot of people, the reason they feel like they need a budget and they feel out of control with their money is we're just burying our heads in the sand, because things like debt and overspending and investing and savings seem so overwhelming that we just kind of hide from it, and don't pay attention to it. So set yourself that regular money date to start to check in and kind of feel empowered to make decisions with your money from a place of knowledge.
The book is You Don't Need a Budget. Stop worrying about debt, spend without shame, and manage money with ease. You can check out Dana on the socials and on her website. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you for having me.